What is up, everybody? Really excited to drop some heat in this video. This is going to be one of my favorite sections, going over Clickup. Clickup basically runs our entire agency at this point. We've moved all of our SOPs, all of our onboarding forms, EOD forms, hiring processes, funnels, etc. over to Clickup. It's freaking insane. So I'm really excited to show you guys how we use Clickup at a really high level to get the best results and the smoothest systems and processes on our end. Anybody that knows me knows I am a huge Clickup fan. It's the #1 software for project management. If you're 100% committed to Asana, Monday, Trello, Notion, or some of those other softwares, this can still be very beneficial for you because you can do some of the layouts of this in other softwares, but I would 100% recommend switching over to Clickup if you're not in Clickup already. Just rip the Band-Aid off and switch over. It's not going to be that crazy. You can even export your entire Monday or your entire Asana and move it into Clickup. That's what we did. So it helps with the process and changing over. Now, when we dive into Clickup, I wanted to show you guys a couple of things in terms of how we organize our Clickup, what the most important things are, and just a high-level overview of our Clickup, kind of breaking down what the different sections are. And then I'll show you some roles and responsibilities for our companies. This is not going to be like a 100% point-and-click tutorial on Clickup. If you guys need a very beginner tutorial on Clickup, I'll link a video below on YouTube that'll probably give you like the brief overview. But with me, I want to talk more about the advanced and fun stuff that we can dive into. So let's dive into my Clickup. I'll kind of show you everything that we have set up over there, and we'll dive into it and talk about it. Now, going from the top, let me go into our base Clickup here. And you can see we have our Clickup set up in a couple different ways, very thoughtfully. So we have, of course, the home section. We have the home section, which is probably the most important thing. So when your employees log in, you can edit these cards and move them around. What I like to do is I like to have the tasks that are assigned to me so I can see everything that's assigned to me. And I like to keep this lineup section. This is like your top priority projects that are really important. You can also have a recent section, which is nice to click through. But probably the two most important that I would say for most employees is having them set up the assigned to me section right at the top. So when they log into Clickup, they click the home, they can see assigned to me. It's very important to have this section here because if you don't have this section, all of the tasks can get spread out between different projects, and you need to have one place where all of your employees or your employee can just log in and see all of the tasks that are relative to them and not have to click through various different projects. Also, the lineup section is nice to have like a priority to-do list, right? So that's a little brief overview of our home. I always say, hey, pop in, start with the home section, and then go from there. The second section that's really important is inbox. So you'll realize that a lot of what you're doing in Slack can translate over to Clickup, and it's way more organized. So inbox section is like things that are underneath a certain task or just general notifications. So this is very important because say we're working on a project and somebody hits a certain blocker where they're like, I don't know where this software is, or you mentioned an app, what application was that you used to pull this and make this change? Something like that. So what they can do is they can communicate. I can go in and reply to the comments at them. I can like it if it's something I just need to sign off on. I don't necessarily need to respond to, and then I can clear them out. But this is really important because it can keep communication underneath your base task right here. So I can see, subtasks, I can see descriptions, I can see action items created off of the main task, who it's assigned to, due dates, status, etc. So that's a really high level overview, but 99% of the time, home and inbox is going to be your bread and butter. Docs, we do use docs in some of the later sections. I don't use too many of these other ones, but I'll kind of go into some of those here shortly. But I wanted to give you guys a setup and an overview of how I organize our Clickup. So again, when employees log in, they log into the home section. They're looking at their assigned tasks and doing them in priority. And then in the inbox section, they're going over the inbox. So when we go into the brief overview of how we set up our ClickUp, the CEO Hub, this is for my task, my ideas, anything else in big projects that I'm working on that I want to keep separate and private from other people. So this is just like, I have one section that's like, you know, if a task needs to be done, I click in there, I assign it to it automatically assigns to myself so I can just rattle off tasks. Ideas is like, you know, oh, it'd be nice to do that in this software, but it's not like 100% needed or really like super important right now. I'll put that as the idea section for like later on. But, you know, that's just a general like, you know, documentations. There's, you know, some information about myself that I keep in there. But yeah, that's the CEO Hub. And I have even my Sunday chores are done in ClickUp. So I have like my personal tasks and personal things that I need done. And then I even have like my Sunday chores in ClickUp too. So you can see how dialed in we are on that side of things. But now we go into the project section, right? So PhD projects, this is the client hub. This is the client status tracker. This is our main bread and butter. I'm going to have a whole other video going over the client status tracker because it's probably one of the most valuable things inside the ClickUp. But essentially, it's just a brief overview of clients, where they're at in their onboarding process. If anybody needs help, if they're at KPIs and they're good, rocking and rolling, or if they need help with anything at all, it's indicated right here. And then we have all the information on the clients. You can kind of like click in and see that a lot of this information will auto-populate in these columns. This is our template task, but I'll go into this on another video. I don't want to dive too much into that one, but that's huge. We also have the team hub. So this is where we have a couple different projects. The first one, team projects. So this is like one-off tasks that need to be completed, but aren't really like underneath a main client or something like that. So, you know, this is like, you know, we need to update this thing in the onboarding call, you know, or we need to update, you know, this thing in this software, whatever. You know, one-off projects typically go here. I organize most of my ClickUp dashboards of open, in progress, ideas, and closed. So that's usually how most of our team projects and sections go. But yeah, that's our team projects overview. Going into the content team, this is how I organize my content creation section for both client ads, my videos, Steal My Agency videos, Practice PhD B2B ads, B2C ads, etc. So what we do is we have templates. So this is template based off of each individual. So if it's a long video template, if it's an ad, if it's a course video, if it's a short template, etc., it goes into here. And then it has all of the subtasks created on that you can see, you know, color grading, cut zooms, etc., thumbnails, whatever. And they're all created. So when we go in and we have a new piece of creative, we copy over from the template and then it goes into open. We can see what's in progress and then we can see what's closed. So that's how we manage our content side of things. I also have like a billing section. You know, this is just a miscellaneous one. If cards fail or, you know, you have to bill a certain client or we're updating and signing up for a couple other, you know, payment processors just as a mitigation one. HR is like hire for this person, etc. And then I also have a recurring one, which is probably useful for you guys. So this is where any like recurring tasks that need to be done on a regular basis, I put them into. You know, I suggest automating them, most of them, and putting them to our client status tracker, like ads optimizations, client success check-in calls, things like that. But for like miscellaneous things like the call center, you know, assigning conversations in the morning, reviewing applicants, updating priority accounts, things like that, get auto-assigned every day. So you can set up recurring tasks in terms of the due dates and go in and set what you want them to recur on and skip weekends, have weekends go, do daily, weekly, whatever, and then go through the recurring tasks. So that makes sure that everything that needs to be done on a recurring basis has a recurring task associated with it, because then stuff gets done. And if it doesn't get done, you can see and you can go into and ask that employee why those things didn't get done. A third and probably final big section of our ClickUp is the SOP Hub. this is really, really cool, but we have moved all of our SOPs over to Clickup. So none of them are in like Google Drive or Google Docs and all over the place. This is really, really clean for having one dashboard and all of your SOPs in one place. So a brief overview, we have like Practice PhD 101. So this is like core values, what we sell, software and tech, going over Slack, going over ClickUp, standards with those softwares, PTO requests, our all hands in meeting, EOD reports, things like that all go under this section. Now, when we get into like straight line SOPs, we have them divided up into 3 sections: fulfillment, sales, and call center. So fulfillment section, these are all our fulfillment SOPs. So this is everything from client success, our academy links, SEO, testimonials, 911 protocols, client communication and scripts, role plays, etc., renewals, upsells, training, offboarding protocols, etc. They also have like media buying, like our Facebook ads SOP. So this is our entire SOP on running Facebook ads, is all in this one dashboard. So it's really, really clean, but it's also very organized. So one of the common things is like your SOPs are all over the place. So you're not getting things updated, and SOPs are meant to be like living, breathing documents. It's not just necessarily like, oh, I created this SOP and it's going to be this way forever. You optimize and you get better at certain things. So what's nice about this is I can also have employees update their relative SOPs. And then when you want to get really advanced, what's super cool about ClickUp is you can link in tasks to SOPs. So imagine when a new client signs and we want to, run their Facebook ads, we can create a task that goes underneath their task in the client status tracker that says launch Facebook ad accounts, and it links to this SOP. So every time they go in and see a client or a SOP or a launch campaign that they have to launch, they can click in and they can see the exact SOP for that campaign underneath it, which is really important, because most of the time what happens is people follow SOPs in the beginning and then they figure out how to do it and they're like, oh, I don't need the SOPs anymore. I know how to do this. And then they stop using them. And then they start screwing up because they mess a few things up. So this is just a very interconnected way to do it. But brief overview, the first thing that I would set up is your client status tracker 100%, then get your team projects and recurring projects set up. And then the third would be the fulfillment SOPs, sales, call center, all the SOPs in one hub. But that's how we that's a brief overview of our ClickUp setup. I'm going to talk about some more of these things in depth and go into them more advanced. But that's a quick overview of our ClickUp dashboard. Hope that helped, guys.